Good.
Yeah.
I agree.
It's not possible. It's not possible. That's like, yeah, it's not possible. No, there is no uniformity to that. That is a subjective, personal experience.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. That makes my life easier. It does. Because from now on, when people say, you disrespected me, I'm like, if you think so, I did.
Yeah. Because it's everybody's personal belief, and people, and that lets you know how subjective it is because people will throw it around and it means 10 different things.
Yes.
Right? Oh, you didn't tell me what I wanted to hear. You disrespected me. You didn't agree with me. You disrespected me. You held me accountable for something. You
You
disrespected me.
disrespected me.
You disrespected me. You disrespected me. Right? Like
Right.
1,000 different actions, and they will still line it up or assign it to one thing.
To one thing.
It's not.
Yeah. And it's a thing they don't even practice. So it only shows up when they feel it, not when they do it.
Mm-hmm. Because that's what makes it subjective. It's based on what you think is respect. What
Yeah, exactly.
means you're disrespected or respected. What you think is respect means you disrespect, right? Or you don't disrespect. But it's really based on your own personal barometer or belief, like what you think that word means. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I raised my voice to somebody and they said, that's disrespectful. And I said, okay, but it's my voice.
Mm-hmm.
So,
And it just goes to show you how personal again it is because athletes get disrespected all the time. Then, right? Coaches yell at you
My
all
family, they
right.
that's how they talk.
you ain't kidding. Like the level,
All contextual and personal.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, and it's usually casually projected.
Correct.
Like there's no standard, and that's what I said, and that's what I was getting to. There's no standard for what is respect and what is disrespect, and you can't tell me that there is a standard because you can't tell me what it is and what it isn't without you being in
Correct.
it.
Absolutely correct.
Right.
And that's truth. That's free. So then you're not bound by trying to walk someone else's tight line or tight
Exactly.
right or
It-
somebody else's thing because then you're being disrespected, meaning you can't even be yourself.
Correct.
It's something that you can continually be. So then it becomes impossible to be you, which is impossible in and of itself, and it just degrades from there. Right?
Right, right. It just gets worse and worse and worse. Yeah. Yeah, because I equated it to like respect is not like gravity.
Right.
It ain't the same for everybody.
Not the same for everyone. Correct. There is no uniformity to it.
Mhm,
No. Nope.
mhm.
Yeah.
I was thinking about you, Leslie, because I was gonna see if which one of your formulas helped my hairline.
Okay. And
It's thinning out a lot more than what I'm used to.
I would put the 37, I would do the 30/70, but I'd also use the 222.
Something told me to put the 222 further back. Okay,
Yeah, I just put
thank you.
222 in my hair this morning and it looks like it's looking
Yeah.
nice and curly and
Okay.
happy. And
Okay.
so, but the 30/70 really is the thing I think for hair growth, just because it actually seeps into your scalp and opens up any clogs.
Mm,
So
okay.
if you wind up with clogged pores in your scalp, the hair can't grow through.
Okay. All right. I'm gonna 370 and 222.
Yes, 30/70.
Oh, 30. Yeah.
I just know why you're looking for the wrong thing. Like, where's the
No,
370? I know we got
it's in
some.
my cabinet. Hey, Sarita.
Hello, everyone. How are you?
Good morning, Sarita.
Wonderful.
Good morning.
See you. Good to see you. How's my boy doing?
He's doing good. Him and my mom are actually on their way here. So when I go off camera and mute, that means they walked in. So, but
Yeah.
I'm listening.
Okay. Okay. Oh wow. Good. I said hello.
I will. I will.
Awesome. Alexis, how are you?
I'm well. How you guys doing?
Good.
Very good.
Good. Happy Saturday.
Happy Saturday.
Church on the move.
Yeah, Lexus on the go.
Yes, the event I was helping set up for
Okay.
last night is today, and we're giving away gifts for kids.
Oh, nice.
Oh, that's awesome.
So I'm excited. I'm happy to be a part of it, being able to contribute my gifts
Yeah.
of smiling.
There you go. See, that's what I'm talking. See, you know it. You know it. You know it. There it is. Brought the superpower out on them.
There you go.
That's it. That is it.
Coach,
Yes.
can we hold things away from us by worrying?
No. Unless you believe, unless that's a great question, and we are going. That's one of the things we're going to get into today. Our emotions and
Okay.
and from feeling. And both of those actually, and this whole thing actually started, and she just popped up on the screen. Perfect, Leanne, because she asked me something about 2 weeks ago that I am coming back to. Boy, like Vin Diesel, I'm hitting the U-turn at top speed because I want to get more depth and breadth to it. Actually, Alexis and I kind of discussed this the other day, but a brief answer to your question is no, unless you believe it to be true. But we have to separate. We have to separate this from, not separate, but we have to understand the difference between that and this,
Okay.
right? And which one this does and which one this is doing. And the goal is, just like for all of us who are parents, the goal is as the parent to raise your child to become like you, meaning their version of an adult, to become self sufficient, to learn how to think like this person thinks, right? As themselves, but to learn how to think, to learn how to pay their bills, to learn how to drive a car, to learn how to do all the things that you do, right? But the reason they don't know how to do that is because they're a child. So you're constantly raising them up, right, to a standard, to a level that they can perform and as themselves, but like you, right?
Right.
So, but when they're a child, they think different than the parent. They just think different. Their world is different. Their life is different. How they see things is different. They don't have context for things. So what would bother them about things in the world doesn't necessarily bother you, and vice versa.
Right.
Right. And like, when we list, like we talked about, like, did you realize that it was pretty much all let's just say 18 and over last weekend, right? And there was nobody like 17 and younger, meaning because our world, talking about the business and finances and all those things, that's generally something that's more 18 and up as far as people's intense awareness and desire of,
Right.
right? Where down here it's not. But those 17-year-olds turn to 18, 19, 20, right? At some point, and they start thinking about what you're thinking about, talking about what you're. So to answer your question, there are two different aspects of yourself, and the one that is this one. The one that isn't is this one. But
Right.
long as this one isn't, this one can be. Because this one, and I'd like to say, yeah. So no, it does not, unless in your free will, unless you let you make you believe that what this believes is true,
Right.
instead of just an experience. It
Right.
doesn't become an identity. So
Got
that's why the answer is no, unless you tell yourself this means something. What that I'm so this means, and whatever you tell that means, then that's what it's going to be.
Okay.
But I'm glad you asked, because this is something that Leanne asked the other day, about 2 weeks ago, and I want to kind of circle back to it, because I want to give it a little more. I want to give it a little more depth, and a little more depth for sure, a little more breadth and depth, because it is actually, Veronica and I were talking about it yesterday too. It is something that is a part of our everyday human experience. And we have to learn how to deal with those things, and not necessarily see them as negatives, but just understand them for what they are, right?
Yeah.
And not make
Yeah.
them they are less than what they are, try to avoid them, fix them, change them, flip them. Sometimes, I'll start it off, but sometimes it's okay to feel discouraged, as long as you don't let it discourage you.
Right.
Right?
I got it. Yeah.
Right? It's okay
Yeah.
to feel
Yeah.
as long as you don't as long as you don't allow that to make you fearful, right? It's okay to have an experience and not make it an identity, right?
Yes.
And that's where the experience is not what the experience is not what gives you anything or withholds anything. It's when it is whatever we experience that we allow to transform our identity.
I got it.
Yes.
I got it.
So we're going to talk about
Yeah.
that. So yes, great question. So good, but I'm glad that worked. All right. Well, happy Saturday, everyone. Happy Saturday. Good to see everyone. It's wonderful that you're all here, and it's great. We're starting it off. Leanne, you asked me something about 2 weeks ago about feeling. And Leslie's thing is a perfect kind of dovetail into it, out of it, around it, about it. And so I want to circle back to your question, because it's a great teaching point for all of us. And I'm going to kind of use it to break out into a couple things, because I want us to understand how to use this information in everyday life for everything, right? Not for manifesting, not for, saving our lives, or making these big things, but well, that's why I always famously talk about Tuesday, right? Like how do we deal with the Tuesday things? Our feeling, our emotion, our bills, our health, our money, are all the different things that show up just on a regular day-to-day business. I mean, day-to-day experience in this experience that we're having. So let me go back to something. Neville always talks about feeling, right? Feeling is the secret, right? Feeling is the secret. All right. People use them interchangeably. People use feeling and another word interchangeably. What is that?
Emotion.
Yes, emotion. All right. Does anybody know the difference between the two? Or does anybody know that there is a difference? And if so, what that difference is?
Is that how you identify with it? So the feeling is something kind of like the emotion comes and then the feeling is what label you put on it or how you identify with it, maybe?
Okay. 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 All right. Who else? Leanne, what do you think?
Oh, good morning, everyone.
Good
Good
morning.
morning.
Well, emotion to me is energy in motion.
Okay.
So I don't know how that differs from feeling per se.
Good. That's okay. That's why we're here. All right. But okay, let's just use your definition, energy. But energy can't be created or destroyed, right? Only transferred, right? Like they say in science. But something originally created energy, originally, right? Like there's originally, or energy is something. What is it? Energy is
The
a
frequency or currency.
energy. You said it's energy in motion. Yeah, the motion is what you would call emotion, but the E is what you would call feeling. What is the E? The E is the definition of feeling. The motion is the definition of emotion, where the energy is going as a result of something. But the energy, what is the energy that the motion is supporting?
The
Or
potency of it.
say it again.
The potency of it.
Of what?
The feeling.
What is the feeling?
The
What,
thinking.
what is feeling? Right, that's good. You're right. But of the feeling, that's correct. So you already separated the two. That's correct. So now you have to get what is the definition of feeling?
Energy moving through your body.
Yes, but what kind of energy? There's solar energy, lunar energy. There is water energy. Like what energy? But what when you
Is
say
it spiritual?
huh?
Like a spiritual energy
Okay,
or spirit level?
okay, yeah,
Could it
yeah, yeah.
could it be a belief?
Okay, and that comes from where?
The thought.
Which comes from where?
Your awareness.
Awareness.
Ah.
Feeling is awareness. The
Mm.
here E doesn't equal MC squared in this case. Equals awareness. You do not have an emotion. There is no energy in motion without awareness because the energy in motion is to support the awareness. The energy in motion goes to support the awareness. Let me give you an example. If you told a 2-year-old, we won the lottery, what would they do?
Where's my pizza?
Right, but I mean, what would they do? What would be the response?
They wouldn't have one because they don't know what that is.
Correct. So they would not have an emotion because they do not have
Awareness.
Awareness.
awareness. They don't have an awareness about that thing. They don't know what that means. So there's no energy or energy in motion. There's no energy. There is no motion conjured up to support their awareness. Without awareness, there is no emotion. Emotion always follows awareness. Emotion never precedes awareness. It's never before it. There's no emotion. Emotion can only be conjured to support awareness. It's an after. It's about something. It's to support something. And that support is your awareness. It's there to support your awareness. It's almost like your dryer is awareness and the vent that lets it escape, the heat that comes out, the smell, all of that is the energy in motion. It's something that's released as a result of this thing, of this activity happening. Does that make sense? Right? So feeling is awareness. So feeling is a secret. Rewritten means is the secret. Awareness. Your awareness is the key to everything. Because without first being aware, what do you have? Without awareness, what do you have?
Ignorance.
Lack of awareness is called what?
Ignorance.
Yeah, worse. Complete total lack of awareness is
Death.
what?
Nothing.
Death. Death. Everything above death is almost like a ladder now, right? You may be in a coma, but you're not. You may be sleep real hard, right? You may be sleep lightly. You may be taking a nap. There are different levels of awareness, different levels of consciousness. If you've reached the bottom of the bottom, so to speak, you're called dead. So there is no emotion there. Because without awareness first, there can be no emotion. So all emotion is subsequent to awareness, to consciousness. Just period. Not about anything, but just in general. Now, according to your awareness, then an emotion comes. An emotion comes to support the awareness, what you're aware of being, what you're aware of being. I'm being this, I'm being that, I'm being that. An emotion supports that. to, depending on how intense your awareness is or what that awareness means to you, an emotion comes to support that, to express that. Right? So feeling is awareness. A better word for feeling is awareness. Emotion is the energy that is expressed as a result of the awareness. It is not independent and it is not before it. It is there subsequently to support it, after the fact to support it, to support what you're aware of. Is everybody understanding that so far? Okay, so when you wake up, and I'm just saying it this way, when you wake up on the wrong side of the bed, when you wake up and you just feel like I just feel, right? But you're not saying, you're not talking about, you're aware that you have an emotion. But you're saying I feel, but it's really your emotion about what you're feeling, but you may not be aware of what you're feeling consciously. You may not be aware of what you're being aware of. You just feel you wake up on the wrong side of the bed, or you wake up in a bad mood, or you wake up sad, or you may wake up super happy. And you can't immediately attribute it to something, but you just have an emotion that you're aware of. You're like, man, I feel sad, or I feel tired, not physically, but tired emotionally. I feel tired. I feel scared. I feel afraid. I feel whatever. And sometimes you know exactly what that's about. Sometimes you're aware, you're tuned in. You're aware of what it is, of why you feel the way you feel, of why you're aware of what you're aware of, that emotion is about. Sometimes you're not. You just feel like, oh man, why do I kind of feel a little, but really you're talking about, I'm aware that I have an emotion, but I'm not sure what it's about. I'm just aware that I feel a little, but that feeling really is the emotion you're aware of, but you're not sure what it's about. It means there's an awareness. You're being aware of something that you're not consciously aware of. You don't know exactly what it's about, but there is something. That's what the emotion is there for. And then what you say to yourself is, okay, I'm feeling this emotion of maybe melancholy, right? I'm not, super down or super happy, but I'm just kind of like, I see, right? So I'm kind of like, like a 71-degree day, right? Like partly cloudy, partly sunny, 71-degree day. It's like, it's not yay, it's not oh, it's just kind of like, right? So if I have that emotion, let's just say that emotion, that energy in motion, right? I have the energy of being melancholy, my awareness. So that's my energy. So then it's like, okay, that's so now I'm like, okay, well, what can I do to read? What can I do? What makes me, is there anything I'm thinking that makes me feel this way? Let's say I still can't put my finger on it. So then it's like, okay, well, if I want to change my emotion, then I need to change my awareness. Now, I may not know what it is, but I can create an awareness. I can start telling myself something. I can start saying, you know what? I'm always happy. I'm always healthy. I'm always safe. Or everything I set my hand to prospers. Or I am prioritized, preferred, and chosen, loved, honored, and respected, supported by everyone on the planet. You can start telling yourself something. And when you're doing that, you're creating now. Really selecting, right? But you're creating, you are choosing, right? And you are choosing an awareness. And once you choose that awareness and you start by saying something to yourself, by choosing to think something, that awareness starts to expand. And as that awareness starts to expand, your emotion, the motion now changes to go support this thing that is becoming a more dominant thing in your mind. You can choose a more dominant thought that is more pleasant to you than the one that you can't necessarily identify. You're just like, I don't know, I just ain't feeling it today, right? In this human experience, it's going into Leslie's point. In this human experience, we have a thing called emotion. They're called emotion. There's a thing called emotion. But once we understand what that emotion is, then we won't be afraid of it so much. We won't feel like we're doing the wrong thing, or we won't get what we want, or we're not who we say we are because we're having an emotion, right? Because our energy is going some way, right? Because we understand like, oh, okay, now I understand that my energy is going to support something. Whether I know it or not, I can choose something that I would rather it support instead. Right? So I can start telling myself something else. You know, I'm always safe. I'm always healthy. I'm always happy. I'm always successful. I'm always prosperous. I'm always loved and respected. I'm always safe everywhere I go. Or, you know, I have great relationship with my husband or my wife or my spouse, my girlfriend, whatever. I have a great relationship with my dog. Whatever you want to create as an awareness, you start to understand that awareness is the secret. Awareness is really what my experience is going to be. So if my emotion, my energy is letting me know where my awareness is, what area, what direction it's in. So when I feel like my energy is a little bit low, when I feel like my emotion, like I'm using emotions that are not as preferable to me or preferable to me, then I can say, even whether I know what it's about or not, I can choose an awareness that's going to conjure up where my energy is going to be intensified below the negative, below the, let's just say below the zero line, right? Right? On the x-axis, right? Below this line, right? Or maybe some melancholy, sad, worry, grief, fear, all that. Up here, happy, excited, joyful, peaceful, all those different things. Sometimes you may feel yourself below this line, which is okay. Which is okay, but you know now how to change it by changing or choosing or selecting an awareness whose energy is up here somewhere, just because of what you're aware of being. I'm happy. I'm a successful business owner. I am whatever would make me happy, whatever the emotion, the energy of emotion of happiness is above the zero line. So then if I just start telling myself I'm happy, if I start choosing to put my awareness that way, I don't have to feel anything to start telling myself that I'm happy. Because feeling what you're talking about is really emotion. But emotion is in the emotion of happy comes after you've decided that to turn happiness on. It doesn't come before it. So when you are below the x-axis, right? Maybe you're sad, maybe you're worried, maybe you're stressed, maybe you're whatever you're feeling, whatever that motion, that energy you're feeling is, you can choose from here to say, you know what? I'm going to go up to happiness. You know, sometimes you feel like you're just in the house. You're like, you know what? I just want to get out of the house. I've been sitting here all day. I'm kind of feeling like, let me just get out. So you put something on and you go walk around. I mean, the mall is not what it used to be when we all grew up, but you go walk around the mall or you go walk around a shopping center, just something to get out, to get some fresh air, to change your mood, right? To change your energy. How do you do that? By changing your environment. Is one of the easiest ways to do it, right? So, or you call somebody to make you laugh, or you watch something funny. You just do something to change the energy. But your energy changes after you change the stimulant, the thing that where your awareness is, right? You change it. You're like, oh, I think I want to feel better, so I'm going to do something that makes me feel better. But that is a choice that you make from not feeling well. You make the choice to feel well, and you cannot have the emotion of that choice before you make it. After you make it, and the longer you stay in that choice, the more you'll feel your energy rise to match where your emotion, to match, I mean, where your awareness is, the new environment that you've created. Does that make sense? Everybody following me? Okay. So Veronica and I were talking about this yesterday, and Leslie brought it up. And this is what I meant when I said, when you're down here, it's not a negative thing, so to speak. There is every emotion for every awareness that you can choose or select. There's an emotion that goes with it. They're all here so that you have an outlet to express yourself at any given time. We're not always expressing ourselves on the same levels every day. We're just not. We don't all have the same energy every day. Sometimes you wake up and you can run 15 marathons. Sometimes you wake up and you can't wait to go back to sleep and you're not even out the bed yet. right? For your day, right? We're all operating on different levels of energy day by day, right? It's not the same thing all the time. So every bit of that has to have a place to express itself. So that is what I meant when I said there's nothing wrong with feeling discouraged as long as you don't let it discourage you. Feeling discouraged, the energy, the emotion, the energy and the emotion of discouragement is only an experience. You're only experiencing it. It is temporary. It's not designed to stay forever. It doesn't have to stay forever. But sometimes we're so afraid of it, we make it stay longer than it has to because we worry about flipping it, changing it, telling yourself it's not real, running from it, hiding from it, rebuking it, right? We do all kind of whatever because we're hiding from kind of the so-called boogeyman, right? We've all heard of the boogeyman, right? Now, I know it seems crazy to ask, but how have we all heard of the boogeyman? We're all different ages, genders. There's people in different countries. How have we all heard of the boogeyman? Has anybody ever seen him? Has anybody ever told you they saw him? So how do we all believe in something that no one has ever seen, but we've all heard of it? It's the craziest thing, right? But it's what I'm saying is that we end up running from things because of what we believe it means or is. And I'm simply telling you that discouragement is like happiness. They're just on different levels of a spectrum. Now, for your best interest, you would rather be on this spectrum, right, on this line of happiness longer and more often, but it's still just an experience. It doesn't last forever. It's not it doesn't mean it's not the same emotion that you feel every minute of every second of every day. So when you're there, great. When you're down here being discouraged, when you're experiencing the emotion of discouragement, there's nothing wrong with that. It's just you're not designed to keep it. But there's nothing wrong with it. Discouragement will not hurt you until or unless or you believe that it will. Worry will not hurt you unless you tell yourself that worry means something is wrong. And if something's wrong, I'm not who I say I am. I'm not going to get what I want. I won't have what I want. I am stopping myself from being what? If you're worried, aren't you still Sarita whether you're worried or not? But Sarita feels different. Sarita's emotions she feels different based on whether she's worried or not. But she's still her. So the feeling comes and goes, but her identity remains the same. That is what I mean when I say there's nothing wrong with discouragement as long as you don't let discouragement discourage you. As long as you don't let discouragement, which is just an experience, a temporary experience, as long as you don't let it become a permanent identity. As long as you don't go from Sarita to worry. Hi, I'm worried now. I'm worried now. Right? No, it's like what are you talking about? That's not a person. That's just an emotion. Right. The identity, the person is supposed to be stable. The emotions come and go. So the point is to say, oh, okay, I can experience an emotion without identifying myself with it or as it. I don't have to be worried, even though I feel worried. I feel that I can feel the energy, the experience of worry. But sometimes we're in such a hurry to run from it or act like it doesn't exist that we don't actually, because we're afraid of what that means if we acknowledge it. What that means if we say, no, it doesn't mean anything unless you tell yourself it means something. It's just an experience. Just like you're going to a party and you run into traffic on the way. It's just an experience, just something that's happening temporarily. It's not designed to redefine you or for you to redefine yourself because you're experiencing it. Oh, you know what? This guy telling me I probably shouldn't go. It's like, well, God couldn't have told you that before when you were getting dressed, when you told everybody you were coming, when you've been looking forward to it for a week. Just now, all of a sudden, like, you know what? It's like, no, man. No, when we redefine ourselves, when we redefine ourselves, when we tell ourselves something different than the original definition of who we are because of an experience we're having that's temporary, we end up intensifying it, increasing it, and prolonging it. Not because it is bad to have it, but because of what we tell ourselves it means because we're experiencing it. Oh, if I'm doing this, this must mean I'm doing something bad or I'm doing something wrong. And that means, oh gosh, that means I'm real. And then you start this spiral, as they call it. You start this spiral. You start believing that, oh my God, and if that means, and oh my gosh, and then that means, and oh my God. And before you know it, you just had a little moment of, oh man, I don't feel like getting up going to work today, to oh my God, and now it's raining, and now my kids hate me. You start literally making this thing, you start making this thing like the Twilight Zone. It went from strong winds to a hurricane because you told yourself that this experience that you're having momentarily, this momentary human experience that you're having is now who you are. That's the mistake. Don't ever identify yourself as the experience you're having. You go to Disneyland, you don't walk out now and you go from Sarita to Disneyland. Hi, I'm Disney. What? You just went to Disneyland. That doesn't make you Disneyland, right? It's no, but in the moment that we're in Disneyland, it feels like it because our awareness is there. We're aware of being something. So that's the feeling that we're talking about is your awareness and all the emotions that come as a result of being in the amusement park, right? You feel different in the amusement park than you do at your house. That's why you go to the amusement park. Because when you change your awareness from the house to the amusement park, all the emotions come with it. And that is what you take from your experience. Every food you ate, the roller coaster that you went on, those things are temporary. But the experience lasts forever because you identified yourself with it. Oh, I had such a good time. Oh, I can't wait to do it again. When you start to identify yourself as the experience, that makes the experience stay longer. That is what you would call a memory, right? The more intense an experience is to you, the more likely you are to remember it. So is that the ideal thing, discouragement? No. But it is just a thing in the range of emotions from, let's say, negative 100 to positive 100. It's just on the spectrum. It's on the range. And where you are on that range is based on your awareness, but sometimes we're not always aware of what we're being aware of. So we can track our emotion, our energy, and it'll give us some kind of barometer. Oh, I'm kind of right around here, or I'm right around here, right? Whatever it may be. That is what your energy is for. It's just a barometer. It's a temperature gauge of where you are, right? So if you're on this line, right? You're on this line, and it's like, oh, okay, let's say happy is up here, and let's just say discouragement is down here, right? Then cool. If you wake up and you find yourself here at any moment of the day, you find yourself here, then you understand that this is all the scale of awareness. This is just an awareness scale. This is where it's telling you where your awareness is. And your energy is going to support that. So happy, right, is an energy, right, that, okay, you're aware of being happy. Somebody called you that you liked, you saw something you liked, you got a sale in your business, your child walked up and said, I love you. Your spouse said you're the most handsome or the most beautiful. It's going to make you rise generally. Unless you're already up there, it makes you rise. So your energy changes from here when you felt discouraged, right, to now you feel happy. So you're just sliding up and down this scale, really. Right? But this is part of your human experience. These are all expressions of your human experience. That's all they are. So when we say, oh, okay, worry is over here. Fine. So we wake up in your human experience, sometimes you feel worried. You feel afraid, you feel scared, you feel nervous, you feel anxious, you feel these things. That is, let's go. Because once you understand these things, you'll understand how to use them. It's just like learning how to cook. It's like learning how to work the heater in your car. It's like learning how to, it's like it's like learning how to use the things that you're involved in. How to use the stove, how to use the microwave, how to use your seasonings. It's like learning how to use these things, right? So there are two different experiences that are happening at the same time. There's YOU and there is YOU. Right? Okay. This YOU is I am. This is what that's you. That is you. You is I am. This you is your name, is your humanity. Now, I am has two attributes that we'll talk about. Omniscience and omnipotence. This means omniscience means, right, all knowing. This one means all powerful or capable. Or there, right? Capable of able, right? Humanity. So in the beginning, in the book it says, in the beginning, what? What's the next?
God created.
In the beginning, what?
God created.
In the beginning, what's the next word?
The.
In the beginning,
God.
in the beginning, I am. Right? In the beginning, I am. I am is the beginning. Is the beginning. I am is the beginning. Your awareness is the beginning. That awareness that you have is omniscient. It's all knowing. It knows everything. It knows everything. How to get to the moon, how to build a submarine, to live under the water for however long a time. It literally built everything. It's omnipotent. It's all capable. It's all powerful. It does everything. In the New Testament, Christ, which is your higher awareness, is defined as two things. What is it?
All knowing.
Nope.
I was gonna say Lord and Savior.
Okay. Nope. Yeah, but no. It's defined as the power and the wisdom of God. I am. Christ in Christ in
Me.
yes, in me, in I, in you. So Christ in you, power and wisdom of I am is in you because it is you. Omniscience, wisdom. Omnipotence, power. In you, right? So in you is power and wisdom. You are all knowing and all powerful as consciousness, as I am. So when you say, so I am, this you was here first. This you called humanity was here second. Is that correct?
Yes.
Yes, you were formed out of the dust of the ground, it said, basically, right? The human form. So it was here second. So when everything in this world was created, Humanity wasn't in on that. Do you understand that?
Yep.
It wasn't in on that. So think about it this way. Think about all of you go to your friend's house and they say, hey, look, we're gonna go on vacation. Don't worry about it, I got it. Just show up on Saturday. Let's just say you showed up on Saturday. What questions do you have?
Where are we
Where we
going?
going?
Where are we going?
Where are we going? Okay, what else?
I wouldn't ask that on Saturday. Wouldn't we know that in advance?
I'm just
Like,
How long we gonna be there?
I'm not asking no
Who else is
questions.
going? Who
I'm
else is
not
Right.
asking
going?
Who
no
gonna be there
questions.
is a good question.
right now.
Great question.
Isn't that when you tell your kids, come on, let's go, don't they ask you the same question?
Mm. Instead of just trusting you to bring they behind on.
Well, but yeah, that's true. Both are true. You'd like them to trust you, but what's wrong with them asking?
Right.
Your friend would like you to trust them, but you still ask, don't you? Sarita
Mm.
asking, she already got an attitude. She want to know who's gonna be there before
Who
she.
gonna be there?
Right. So you want your kids to trust you, but you don't trust your friend. But you can, if you start to look at it, it's not about that. It's not a mistrust thing. It's not a distrust or mistrust. It is the fact that your humanity, you weren't in on this in the beginning. You weren't the one that made all this stuff up. You're just here now. So you have questions. Who wouldn't? Why wouldn't you? And all the same ones that you would ask your friend are all the same ones your kids ask you, but they're all the same one that your humanity, that you are asking you. That humanity is asking, I am. Humanity is asking, I am, the same things your kids ask you, the same thing you ask your friends. It's because humanity was second. Humanity didn't plan the water, the earth, didn't plan heaven, didn't create anything. It showed up after the fact. It was made after the fact. So it wasn't in on the plan. So what does humanity know?
Nothing without asking.
It knows nothing. And so if it knows nothing without asking, who is it supposed to ask?
I am.
I am. So when it says, well, how are we going to do that? Well, I don't see how we're going to do that. You're not saying that you're not saying that you don't trust your friend, but you're saying, I don't know. I have no answers. But the less answers I have, the more questions I have, right? And you're an adult talking to an adult when you're talking to your friend. So it's not about them being greater than you. It's not about them being older than you. It's not about them being wealthier than you. It's not about them being more successful than you. It's the fact that when you're not when you're not first, when you're second, when you come after the fact, you have questions to the person, the being, whatever it is, whether it's your friends or your kids asking you, they're going to have questions for the first. The created is always going to have questions for the creator. The creator of your trip that you're going on with your girlfriend or with your homie. If you didn't plan it, aren't you going to have questions? When you tell your kids to come on, they didn't plan it. Don't they have questions? Well, when your humanity, which you call Leanne, you call Sarita, you call Leslie, you call everybody on here, when your ego mind, your human mind, the identity of your humanity, which is your ego, the identity of your humanity, right, doesn't have answers. So then it has questions. Well, who else is it supposed to ask? But I am. So my point is, when people ask me, Leanne kind of asked me a little bit when she was talking about feelings and stuff like that. Do you have to believe something? No, you don't. Your humanity does not believe it. It doesn't know it. It doesn't understand it. So when I say no, you don't have to believe it, I'm talking about the Leanne you, the ego mind you. You don't have to believe anything. The one who has to believe it is you, I am. And I am believes everything because I am is everything. When I am decides, when your friend tells you we're going somewhere, let's just assume that this is a responsible whatever, and they're treating you somewhere. When they tell you that they're going to do something, do they believe it? Right? A responsible, normal person that you trust, that you're like your best friend, and they say, hey, girl, I'm going to pick you up and take you to the mall. You have your own thought of what you believe, but they have their own thought of what they believe. So when they tell you they're going to do something, do you think a normal, reasonable, rational adult, do you think they believe it? Yes. So your awareness, your I am, believes it. When it says I'm a millionaire, it believes that. Your humanity, your ego mind may not, but you don't need it to believe that. You don't need it to believe that. It cannot believe something it hasn't experienced or have some kind of relevant experience to believe that to be true, because it's basing what's true or a lie, not what's not it is believing something to be true or false, not based on whether it is actually true or false. It's basing it on the relevant data, experience, and information it has, and then it makes a guess or an assumption of whether something is likely or not. It's not based on truth and fact. It calls truth and fact something that is believable or unbelievable. It calls something believable or unbelievable based on its history. What experience has it had up to this point to say this is possible for me or not? Your awareness is the creator. So it can't base anything on experience or this or that because it is the experience. So if it didn't believe it, there is no possibility. So if you can say that I am a millionaire, if you can say that I am healthy, if you can say that that is the all caps you, that is I am creating, speaking as the creator. It knows that whatever it says is the truth because it knows there is no contradiction, there is no other power, there is no vetoing what it says, there is no union that can strike and march against it not happening. I am, and there is no other. You are the sole creator of your reality, meaning of your human experience. You are. I am is the creator of human experience. Literally, from creating the human to the experience that it is that I am is having through the human it created. But you're human to feel like a human needed an ego. And the ego is an identity, and that identity was named Leanne or Sarita or Gavin or everyone. The that is the identity that has a name, that is your ego. It is what allows you to feel like you're human even though you're not. It allows you to feel like you are. That is valid because that's what makes having a human experience for I am reality, realistic. It says, oh, I'm believing myself to be this now. Right? But your ego says, well, I've never been rich before. My parents aren't rich. My family isn't rich. I didn't go to college. I'm a woman, or I'm black, or there's racism, or there's whatever disadvantages we think apply to us. Well, your ego mind will bring all of them out. You're what? Haven't you watched the news? What do you mean? Your ego mind will tell you that's not possible because of what it's believing itself to be in that moment. But what it's believing itself to be in that moment is based on history. It's based on history. That is its data point. Is history, present tense history. It's literally like a microwave. It just reheats. It does not cook or create, really. It's just a reheats what has already been cooked or created. So it doesn't know, it doesn't understand where are we going, how long, who's going. It asks the same questions you ask. So if you're not bad, why is it bad? You would ask your girlfriend the same questions if you didn't know. If she planned the trip and you didn't, she just said, just meet me in my house on Saturday at 7, you're gonna have all kind of questions. And she's the only one you can ask them to because she's the creator of the experience. That is why your humanity, that's why Sarita asks herself, where am I going? Is this going to work? How's this going to work? That is your ego mind asking your true self, how is this going to work? So your true self looks at your ego mind and says, oh, I understand why you don't know. You didn't create this thing. I created you. I brought you along for the ride. You don't really have a say in the sense of like, I've already, this is what it's going to be. Now, you do have a say in the sense of if you are unwilling to listen to me or believe me, then it's part not believe it, believe me. Just listen to me. I don't need you to believe that. That's already taken care of. Just believe me. But you're believing I am. So when you're believing me, who are you believing? When we say believe me, who are you believing?
I am.
Who are you believing?
Yourself. I am.
If your belief in self is, Neville said it, what did he say? He said, I'm paraphrasing, but he said, your belief in God is directly correlated to your belief in self. Because it's the same thing. The self of you. We're not talking about the humanity. Humanity is not God. I am is God. I am consciousness. Your awareness is God. God is a title. To like mother, father, daughter, son. I am is God's name. I am is what you say every day, all the time. That is you. The belief in self. The belief in, not out, not the body, not someone else's body, not the world. The belief in you. You are in. This body that you're bathing and clothing and feeding is not you, it is yours. But the thing that you're bathing, clothing, and feeding has questions, just like your kids do, don't they? So they may not believe that they're going somewhere, but even if they don't believe it, what do you want them to believe?
That they're going.
But they don't believe that.
I
So
want them to believe what I tell them.
then you want them to believe what?
Me.
You.
Right.
Believe in you.
Mm-hmm.
In. Believe in you. It doesn't, how? 12 times 5 is 60. They're 4 years old. How are they supposed to believe that? Based on what? They've never had 60 of anything. They don't know what that means. Right? So you're not asking them to believe it. You're asking them to believe you. In you. Because mommy said so, daddy said so, mom said so, dad said so, grandma, you want them to believe in you. You're not mad that they don't believe it. You understand that they've never had 60 of anything. They're 4 years old. Right? But you want them to believe in you. So do you have to, but when you start saying, when you're sick and you start saying, I'm healthy, do you, the Y-O-U, do you have to believe that? No, you don't. But you have to start saying it. You have to start assuming the identity of it. That is when you say, okay, let me get some help. I am. Now I got help. Remember back in the day in the playground, you'd be like, my dad's stronger than your dad, right? Or my mom is this, or your mom. Like you start comparing. And you're like, well, if I get in trouble, I'm going to call my mom, and you're really going to be in trouble. You start looking for backup. You start looking for authority, something that's going to help you out, something that's on your behalf for you. So when I'm just saying it this way to separate it, because there truly is no separation, but I'm saying it so that you can understand where worry comes from. Who is worried? In this equation, who is worried? The little you or the big you?
The humanity you, the little you.
Humanity you. But why? Because humanity is second. It didn't create any of these things. It doesn't own any of these things. It doesn't know any of these things. It only knows what it's told. It only knows the experience that it has or that it's having. It doesn't know everything. So the questions it's asking you, so when you're worried or stressed or afraid, you're basically looking for answers. But you're worried, stressed, and afraid because you're looking for answers from an aspect of yourself that doesn't have them. So just imagine like Sparkle Bailey has 2 kids. So let's just say that she says, you know what? You know, she tells her kids, hey, come on, we're going to the store. So she says, come on, let's go. So the 2 kids are going to do the 2 kids in their mind are going to say, whether they say it out loud or not, they're going to say, where are we going? Okay, but if both of her kids ask each other where they're going, who has the answer?
I am. I'm just playing. Mama.
Right.
Say it again, coach.
Either one of them have the answer?
No.
No. So that's like you asking yourself, how is this going to work out? If you're only talking to the little you, do you think you have the answer?
Mm.
No. But if you say, how is this going to work out? Well, let me ask. I'm broke right now. I'm identifying as broke. Okay, but I don't want to do that anymore. I want to identify I'm rich. Okay, but the only one I can identify with broke in the first place is little you. So now the little you says, okay, I want to stop identifying with that. I want to be rich. But if the little me, if the me, my humanity has never had the experience of being rich, then I need to get some backup. I need to now say, who can help me do this? Oh, I'm going to go to my parent. I'm going to go to my father. I'm going to go to my mother. I'm going to get backup. Hey, I want to be rich. Okay, you are rich. Well, now I am rich. I am is your backup for you. You are now identifying yourself with that. I am that. I am rich. Rich is just an expression. I'm going to change my expression from broke to rich. But how do I do that? By going to my awareness, by going to the big me now. I'm now this now. I'm going to my divinity to change the expression of my humanity. Is this making sense?
Yep.
So what I'm trying to get across to you is that there's nothing wrong with fear as long as you don't as long as you don't allow it to make you afraid. What I'm saying is that your awareness of being is never afraid. What I'm saying, there's nothing wrong with fear. What I'm saying is, I want you to identify that when you say I'm afraid, it is your humanity that feels fear. Humanity feels fear. But why? Because humanity is not creative, it is created. Humanity is not the creator. It's not in charge. So it has concerns. Where are we going? How long are we going? Who's going to be there? Are you sure? And when you understand that it's the aspect of this creation that you made, you realize as I tell my humanity to say, it's okay, I got it. Just trust me. It's okay, I got it. I am going to trust myself, the self of me, which is I am, which is omniscient and omnipotent, all knowing, all powerful. The Christ in me, right? The awareness of being in me, which is power and wisdom. The ability and the know-how to take me from I am broke to I am rich. Your humanity is the one with concerns, worries, stresses, fears, doubt, discouragement, all those different things. That is what it's experiencing. As long, when I say this, don't worry about it or don't be scared of it. What I'm saying is it's just an experience that your humanity is having, just like you getting rained on. Just because you get rained on doesn't mean you're going to catch a cold. It doesn't make you sick unless you believe rain makes you sick. One doesn't mean the other. Worry doesn't mean I am not going to get what I want. But you have to make sure that you are not identifying with the worry like I am worried, because now I am changing my identity and I only get what I am. I am wet, but I'm not sick. Wet and sick don't have to be the same thing. Otherwise, every time you took a shower, you'd be sick every day. If wet just did it, how would any soldiers in the world ever exist? Everybody would die. They're out there dirty for days at a time. There's weather, cold, all kinds. Ain't nobody out there taking showers when you're out there in the field, right? Anybody ever seen Rambo in the bathtub? Right? No, you out there getting it for days at a time, weeks at a, whatever it takes, right? So if that automatically meant this, then that causes this. And so if wet makes sick, then every time you take a shower, you messed up. If wet makes sick, every time rain touches you, you messed up. If worry means, what does worry mean? I'm saying redefine what worry means to you. Hey, I'm experiencing being worried. I'm understanding now that my humanity has questions that it can't answer. So worry is just my lane departure system. It's just my smoke alarm to alert my awareness that my humanity is worried, that my humanity is hungry. My humanity is thirsty. Mom, I'm thirsty. Dad, I'm thirsty. Right? It doesn't, it's your children 3 years old. They don't know how to do this on their own, or they can't reach it. So they're pulling on you to get your awareness so that you can change their experience. That is what your humanity is doing with your awareness. That's what I mean when I say it's okay to be discouraged. Just don't, it's okay to feel discouragement. Just don't be discouraged. What that means is it's okay to feel, to have the emotions, the human emotions that you have. Those things are a reflection of not being the boss and not being in charge. But you have access to the boss. You have access to who's in charge in you. In you. So you go within yourself and you say, I am the answer. What is the answer to? I'm hungry. Okay, I'm now fed. I now have food coming to me. I start to identify myself as my desired end, as my wish fulfilled. I don't identify myself as the person lacking. Me being hungry is the catalyst to change my identity from I am hungry is what said, oh, shoot, it got my attention to change how I identify myself. I am hungry. Oh, shoot, let me go get something to eat. That thing made you act to solve it. So consciously, you say, oh, okay, I'm this. Well, do I like it? No. So then what do I like? I like that. Now this thing is going to be the catalyst to which I redefine myself. I am now that. I've now got my backup with me. I'm that now. The omniscient, omnipotent power and wisdom in me is here on the scene. And is now, I brought that so that the thing that I've now chosen to identify myself with comes into play. I brought my mom or my dad to the playground to deal with this bully, essentially. That's who you are. So my point is that your humanity has experiences. Those things are valid. They're okay. As long as you don't tell yourself that they're not, that you're going to die. And as a result of feeling sad today or worried or stressed or anxious, as a result of having an experience, a human experience, I'm no longer I am. That's what you can't do. Having an experience doesn't change you. You're still Leanne, whether it's snowing out there or whether it's sunny out there. Your identity doesn't change from your experience. But if you let your experience change your identity, oh, it's snowing. And if I go outside, I'm going to get sick. That's when you messed yourself up. Snow and sun doesn't make you anything unless you start telling yourself that it does. But you've let an experience reframe, remodel, redefine your identity. That's where you messed up. Not snowing doesn't hurt you. Sun doesn't hurt you or help you. They're just experiences. Otherwise, if they helped you, what happens if it's not sunny every day? What happens? Do you die? You gotta go to the hospital now? What happens? Experiences don't define you unless you define yourself with them or as them. It's sunny today, great. It's snowing tomorrow, great. I'm still Sarita. I'm still Leanne. I'm still Latoya. I'm still Alexis. I'm still Johnny. I still am who I am. This experience does not change me unless I let this experience. Oh, I started a business and it went under. Oh well, I guess I'm a bad business person. See how an experience, if you let an experience redefine you, you now have an experience of my business went under to I am a failure. Those are two different things. I mean, whether we like it or not, it ain't stopped Trump from getting off. How many times he failed in the business? And he's the president twice. Right? Just objectively. We're not talking about whether we like it or not. I'm just saying objectively. If failure was permanent, so to speak, then how do you become president of the most powerful country on the planet twice? There's people who failed a lot less and haven't been president and have no chance. Right? Been bankrupt how many times? And people talk about him like he still ain't winning. We're not talking about whether you like somebody or not. You're the president of the most powerful country on the planet twice. So when we have experiences, it's not the experience that we get the outcome of. It's what we tell us the experience means or what it meant. Because this happened to me, what? Because this happened to me, I defined it to mean what? What? You can see people like him, but like, hey, what does that got to do? Next, I'm about to start something else. You know what? I think I'll be president now. Their business failed, they file bankruptcy, what do they say, 5 or 6 times? And you're the president twice? Right? So it's not the experience that's the issue. It's not feeling the emotion of discouragement. That's the issue. It's what you're telling yourself it means. I'm a little sad today. Maybe I'm off my game. Maybe the money that I'm assuming I have won't come, or maybe I won't get this, or I'm a little worried today. So maybe that means I'm not in my right mind and I'm off and it's bad. No. Those are just human emotions. Those are just the experiences you're having in your human experience. And as long as you don't define yourself as those things, then those things will pass just like clouds. They'll pass. But you are so powerful. What you define yourself as is the most important thing. That is the life you're living. That is your reality. Is your self-definition is your reality. Your manifestation is the physical reflection of your self-definition. That's what manifesting is. It is you in physical form. It is your internal monologue, dialogue, diatribe. It is whatever you're telling yourself internally. You are reality. So whatever you tell yourself internally is expressed physically. That is manifesting. So you can have an experience of rain, but rain doesn't make me sick. So when you know rain doesn't make you sick, you're not afraid of the rain. That's what I'm trying to tell you. When you know worry doesn't mean I'm failing, then you don't worry about being worried, and then you don't keep worry as long. Then you don't worry as much because you're not so wrapped up into what you think it means. So you spend so much time arguing with it and fighting with it. You're like Tom and Jerry. You never let it go. So it stays longer than it needs to because you keep telling yourself, oh my God, I have it. And you start running from it, hiding from it. It becomes the boogeyman. Something you've never seen, but you swear means everything. Nobody's ever seen the boogeyman in any country, and everybody knows about the boogeyman that nobody's ever seen. Right? It just goes to show us how active and how powerful our imagination is when we take a belief and we adopt it or we adapt it into our identity. It's like pouring concrete and then putting a building into it. It becomes part of it. It becomes lockstep together. And you can't separate the building from the foundation and not still have it stand. Right? So your foundation is I am. That is who you are. That's all you'll ever be. Everything else is just an experience. Sarita is just an experience. I am lives forever. It's immortal. It lives forever. It is omniscient. It's all knowing. It is all powerful. It is all everything. That is what is making Sarita alive, a living thing. So your job is to remember that you are. You, the all caps. That is who you are. That is who you are. And to live your life as that through Sarita, as that through Leanne, as that through Leslie, as that through Alexis. I am. As that through. That is where that is when you, so then when you realize and you remember who you are, you will see fear almost just like a cloud. You'll look at it, you'll observe it, and be like, oh, okay, I see that. I see, I looked out, like around here it's been raining, pretty much since yesterday. It's supposed to be raining for like a week straight up here. So I can look right now out of these windows and I can see the dark clouds. I can see them. But all of us can see them. So then what does it mean when I see it? It's based on me. It's based on what I think that means for me. Oh, it's raining, I can't go outside. Oh, it's raining, I don't want to get wet. Oh, it's raining. What is it? I can let it pass. I can be like, well, I'll stay inside, or I'll look and see when it's going to rain, and then I'll go get some food and come back. I can, like, once I realize it's just an experience, I can play with it and it doesn't bother me. And it'll pass. It's just we tell ourselves, oh, because I'm worried, it means I'm off. I won't sell. I won't have this. I won't get that. And that's what gets it. Because now we're taking this experience and identifying ourselves with it, because we're telling us it's true. And it's because it's true, then this truth means to me. And who did all that? You did all that to you. You set your own jail and gave yourself your own sentence. You did that. Worry never said, I'm here. Ha! Right? It never said, I'm here. And it's not, bruh, man. Every time you walk in, it's sitting there waiting on you, eating, looking in your refrigerator. Right? It's not, bruh, man. It's not that. It's whatever you tell yourself it is. Looking at the cloud, looking at fear, looking at worry, looking at stress. They're not natural expressions of you. But in humanity, in our humanity, in this human experience, we didn't create any of these things. So we have questions. What does it mean? What does that mean? What does it mean? It's basically it's your child pulling on your leg saying, hey, man, help me. How should I think about this? And that's when you say, oh, yeah, let me remember who I am. Oh, yeah, I'm not Leslie right now. I'm mom. I got to put that hat on right now. Because my daughter's pulling at my leg saying I'm hungry, or can we go, or I'm cold. So I am still Leslie, but right now I have to play this role of mom right now. But what? It's just an experience. It's just experience, right? So does that make sense, everybody? Do we get that? Do we understand that? Because I want us to understand the difference between feeling and emotion. Feeling is your awareness. You have an awareness of being at all times. Your emotions come as a result to support your awareness of being. And anytime you feel like you're emotional or your emotions are out of control, you just have to bring yourself back in awareness. So that's where sitting down somewhere for a second, hey, give me a minute, or let me sleep on it. Your emotions are not something for you to fight. They're like cities in a state. If you don't like to live in this city, you have to move to another city or move to another state. It's the same thing. Your emotions are like cities in the state of your mind, in the state of mind that you're in. And you can't change those cities and stay in that state. You change the state, the cities automatically change. There is no St. Louis in California. So if I don't want to live in St. Louis, as long as I'm in California, it's not possible. Right? But if I go to Missouri and then I'd be like, oh, well, then now I'm in the state, but I'm trying to avoid St. Louis. Like, why would I even put myself in that state? So change the state of your mind, change your awareness. And like I said, it's like, okay, I feel discouraged. Okay, so then what state of mind can I put myself in that would feel better? I'm happy, or I'm okay. So you start telling yourself, okay, I'm okay. You're not fighting this thing. You're not fighting discouragement. You're not waging battle against it. You're literally just saying, you know what? I choose to be this now. And the more I focus on this, Discouragement will pass like clouds in the sky. They'll pass. They'll literally pass. Okay, let me stop there for a second. Questions before I move on to something else. Because I want to make sure that that really sunk in.
I think I got this better now than ever.
Okay. Good. Good.
I last week I had a conversation with someone over exactly what you just explained. We were having a conversation and they needed clarity. They were talking to the big you in me. They were questioning the big you in me, but the small you inside of me felt um I had my own concerns. I had my own questions for the big you and them. And so imagine this conversation of foolishness where little yous is having conversations, asking questions to the big yous, but the big yous are not even identified in those moments as big yous. They're only identifying as the human version of ourselves. And so imagine the merry-go-round that type of conversation would lead to. And so as you just broke this down, I realized neither one of us had the verbiage. And what I put in the chat was, you be breaking it down. What you do is you break it down where now it's like, okay, all right, let me go back outside. Let me do this again. And so now understanding that the big you has this authority, that the little you is looking for guidance, direction, clarity, and it's okay. That's okay. Nobody's questioning you. Nobody's challenging you. People are just looking for reassurance. Hey, what's going on here? I know a lot of times we're taught that men focus on the logic and less of the emotion. And so I was like, this is more I saw something that really wasn't there in that moment in the conversation. And I'm sitting here like, okay, let me explain consciousness logically. Like I was literally I be in my head, coach. I stay in my head. So I'm like, how do you break down consciousness logically to a person who I'm emotional about consciousness because I'm so excited about understanding my power. But how do you it was a deep merry-go-round situation. It was crazy. We both survived. We're both good. However, you just broke it down in a way that has me revved up like, okay, cool. So the next time I'm presented with a situation like that, just identify as the big you is being questioned for reasons of safety, reasons of, purpose, logic. And so the way you just broke it down was like, I kind of just forgave them in that moment. I just forgave them. Like, they didn't know. Okay, cool. No problem. Let's do that again. Now I'm ready. So just thank you for breaking it down, coach. Good job.
Good. Glad you got it. Good. I'm happy. Yes, Sarita.
So the ditto to what the femininity fairy Sparkle Bailey just said, okay? Ditto to that. But also it's like when you think about like in the ignorance as even parents, it's like you do things because you know that they're the right thing to do. But sometimes you don't have the explanation. It's like, yeah, you just do this because I said it. And when you're questioned about it, the little you is like, just don't ask me no questions because I'm telling you because this is what you're supposed to do. So that's the humanity and the little you and ego in us. But now what I'm understanding because I answer more questions because I have a better understanding of the big you. I answer more effectively and more clear because I have a better understanding. The way you just broke this down is so powerful because I was like at one point I had these emotions, right? And I was calling them feelings. I was misidentifying what they were. I was having these gut-wrenching emotions and I said, "Okay, something's wrong." Instead of saying, "No, I don't want this is not the state that I want to be in."
Mhm.
And then like I automatically I don't know if you guys ever felt the stomach, your stomach just flip the flopping, and just going up and down. And that's the emotion I was feeling. So immediately my mind went to something's wrong. Instead of, okay, I don't want this feeling. Something may or may not be wrong. I'm going to change my state. And I dropped in the chat Louise Hayes. She put on something. It was, and I've been saying it over and over. All is well. everything works out for my highest good. Out of this situation, only good will come, and I am safe. And I've been saying that over and over again, like every day, even when it's good. I may not say it as much on the good days as I do on the different days, but I do say it, and that has helped. It tremendously helped me. But now I understand why it's helping because I'm changing my state. I thought, just like you said, going outside, taking a walk, I would do that too, and it would change my state. But it's changing my awareness. Oh, this is so good.
Oh, so happy to hear. I'm so happy to hear all of you expressing, a deeper understanding, because that makes me happy, because that's how I feel and felt as I continue to deepen my understanding of these things. I'm as happy to share it as I am to learn it myself. And we're all on this journey together. I may talk the most, but it's almost like I may be the teacher, but that doesn't make me the math teacher, but that doesn't make me smarter than Albert Einstein. I mean, right? Like all of you, I may be the one teaching, but it doesn't mean that you're not smarter than me in the subject I'm teaching, that you don't grow into your own power, right? That supersedes the original teacher, so to speak, right? So I'm as excited to hear you guys say that you're getting it as I was to get it and am to get it myself, right? Because it's true. It's like once you understand this for yourself, to Spargo Bailey's point, it allows you actually to forgive people, but it's not even the same way you would normally do it. You just get a better understanding of why they say what they say and why they are what they are and where they were at that moment, because you're like, oh, because I understood why I was off. Oh, okay. And now that I have it, I can, it's easy to be like, oh, okay. Because now it's clear for me. And so that's super awesome. Super awesome. Good, Sarita. Awesome. Leanne, I want to come back to you because you really started this whole situation with your question a couple of weeks ago. And I just wanted to come back to make sure that to see how you felt, because your whole thing really was the impetus under which this whole started. So I wanted to.
Yeah. I'm. It's so clear to me now. I've never had anybody explain the difference between I am and the ego and the belief behind them. That was big for me. That really clicked. The ego doesn't believe until it sees it, but I am believes because it's all knowing. Yeah, it's very clear for me now. Then the Disneyland, going to Disneyland or being Disneyland, that those little bits of clarity for me just make everything click. So it really came together today. Thank you.
Perfect. Okay. Anyone else before I move
The
on?
last, the last thing, real quick, Coach. Leanne just made me think about something. I literally was accused of, well, I don't know if I was accused, if you want to call it that, but it was basically the other person told me, you believe this and you want me to believe that, and you want me to go based off you believe in something. And I had literally just explained how, look at all this proof that I've put in front of you over the years. Look at all this proof. And you're accusing me, this is how I took it. You're accusing me of believing? I was so offended. How do you not know? I know. Look what's happened. And I was so offended because like I said, the little you was talking to the little you in the person with those questions. The little you was not focused on the proof that was already there. The big U's were not conversing at all. And so when a person says, oh, you just want me to believe in this because you believe in this, and I'm like, I was extremely offended. Like, how do you not know? How do you not see? But the way you're breaking all of this down, immediately I was like, that person didn't understand. I did not understand. All is forgiven. Let's go back to the love. So literally, this is awesome. This is super cool.
This goes back to something Leslie and I were talking about in the beginning of class, when we talk about what is respect, right? And a lot of these words, people don't understand whether like these words, like I'll just write a couple, like respect or belief, right? Or maybe trust, right? Or happiness, right? Right? People there, and there's so many words, but these are just a couple of words that people use synonymously. People use and all to mean 1,000 different things. We're all using the same word, but my point is, what we were talking about was our concept of what that word means to ourselves as an individual is what we, whether it's consciously or unconsciously, we try to apply that same definition to another person or for another person. We want them to define it the same way we define it. And that's just not possible because it is subjective. It is based on what I think is respectful. Leslie may not think is respectful. I may think raising my voice is disrespectful. She may think it's not. I'm just telling you passionately how I feel, right? It is, we all have these words that we use that we individually identify their definition and their meaning and our subsequent actions as a result. And we, like I said, whether it's consciously or unconsciously, we attempt to apply that same, to try to make that definition apply for everyone else. We want everyone else to believe that the word means the same thing and show us the same actions on this. And we haven't even defined the word to them. They don't even know what we think respect means necessarily. But, and then we still want them to act that way, abide by it, obey it. And we want our definition of a word to apply to someone else, right? And that is not a possible or reasonable thing because it's a subjective thing. Everybody's meaning of these or definition of these words varies for personal reasons, experiential reasons, all kind of things, right? And so it is a lot of times we're using words and we think because we are using the same word that we're automatically assuming that we're on the same page about what that word means, right? And then we assume that we're not only on the same page of what it means, so therefore we can assume that your actions are going to be the same as mine because we're using the same word and we believe the same thing, and so our actions should be the same. And so when someone's actions differ from our own, we're like, well, how could you do that? Well, because I don't believe that word means this. Well, how could you not? You don't even realize that they didn't, right? So a lot of these things, a lot of words that we're using interchangeably, we're using synonymously, we're using them more contextually, experientially, individually, and we don't realize that we're not, even though we're using the same word, we don't have the same meaning. They don't mean the same things to us, right? So a lot of times, even though we're talking to someone and you can have two intelligent, articulate people, you have two people. That means you have two different things. You have two ones. This one is this one is that. So just the difference that they're not the same produces and promotes differences. Not inherently good or bad, but just inherent differences, right? And that a lot of times is where that's the first thing that really throws us off. And I think that's the thing that throws us off the most is the assumption automatically that my definition of respect is someone else's. My definition of trust is someone else's. And my definition of this, so don't you trust me? Yeah, I do. So you should do this. Well, that's not my definition of trust. But you're assuming that because what yours is, it allows you to do that, that what mine is will allow me to do the same. And it doesn't, right? So that is why we talk so, we talk so down to the detail about whether it's words or definitions, but really just about being really aware in our consciousness of who we are, what we're actually thinking, what we're telling ourselves, all those things, because a lot of times we're operating consciously with a belief system that's actually different than our kind of subconscious beliefs. We're saying we think this, but we don't really. Or we're saying we think this, but we're not sure really. Or we're saying we think this, but well. And so a lot of times the lack of cohesion internally expresses itself externally, right? And everybody's doing it. So we're having a war within ourselves about what something means. So there's two. I'm having a war within me, and then Leslie's having a war within her, and then we're both trying to work it out. How does that work? We're over here warring with our own individual selves. I can't even get to you yet, right? So a lot of it is just learning how to, kind of Sparkle Bailey's point, and to all of us, I think that's what makes understanding feel so good, is because the first thing it does is create peace within ourselves. That's the first place peace is important, is within ourselves. So when we come to a level of understanding from these conversations, it's like, oh. So now it's like, I'm not even mad at the person because I feel so much better for myself now. I'm so much more clear. I feel so you start to realize that, like, it's not really about the other person as much as we feel, but when we don't know ourselves, it's about the other person so much more. When we don't understand ourselves, we need understanding from the other person so much more, right? And once we secure that within ourselves, we're like, you just realize it falls off, it falls away. It doesn't mean anything at all or much different than it used to mean. It's like, hey, I want you to agree, but if you don't, go ahead, feel what you feel. I'm good, right? Because you realize, because once you feel that power for yourself, you don't mind other people having the same for themselves. You don't feel like them thinking what they think that has nothing to do with me. I'm not mad at you. I can't lose because of what you think. I can only lose if I think what you think, right? Or if I don't know how to think what I want to think. So if I can't lose by what you think, then it doesn't matter what you think. So that means I'm not mad at you for thinking it. I'm not mad at you for wanting to do your own thing or go your own way. Your own self-empowerment allows you to empower others. Whether you agree or not doesn't matter as much to you anymore. You just want you're willing to grant them the freedom to be, just like you're grateful for the freedom you have now. To be like, shoot, I don't have to think like that anymore. I don't have to think like my family thinks. I don't have to worry about flu season. Once I realize I don't have to think like everybody else, then I don't mind everybody else having their own right to think what they want either. Because I'm allowed them to think what they want, just like I want people to allow me to think what I want. Right? So that is, yeah, dude. Super cool. Super cool. Okay. Anything else?
Coach, can I ask a question real quick? So I'm lining this up with the conversation we had on our one-on-one. You asked me, why are people coming to you asking questions? And it came back because I'm the authority. So now my thought process is I've got to, in my higher mind, always want to answer questions as the capital, the capital letter U.
Yeah.
From that state of mind, and also deciding that however I answer questions, it's always understood by the person the way they understand, the
Yeah.
way they understand.
Yeah.
So my choice of words will always be words that mean something to them, as opposed to the lowercase u, which is trying to just jam an idea in their head.
That is exactly right. Because the uppercase U, let's say, does it that way because it knows, because it's omniscient. It knows it's perfect. It knows it can't say the wrong thing. It knows.
Right.
The lowercase s doesn't know that. So it is trying to always seek out how to do it. It's always trying to prove itself. It's always trying to make sure it knows. So it's always on this hustle thing. It's always on this trying to figure it out thing. It's always trying. And I am just does. It's
Right.
So what you're doing essentially in this human experience is I am decided that it wanted to have an experience, right? It wanted to have a physical experience. So it said, okay, let me create this thing, right, called Leslie. That this will be the name of my physical experience. But in order for this physical experience to be real, I kind of have to stop calling myself this. I start calling myself this now. Because that's what the physical experience is. I am is not the physical thing. So by calling myself Leslie, the more and more I do that, the more and more I feel more physical than I do just pure consciousness, right?
Yeah.
But I didn't want to let it go too far and go too long. So what I did was I put I am in front of it. So now I am Leslie. Leslie makes me feel like this experience, but I threw I am in there so because I knew one day I would wake up within Leslie. And so that's why we're all here, because we're waking up as I am, right? In a physical being, a body, but we're realizing more and more we're starting to work our way back up, back home, so to speak. And awareness, we're working our way back up. So now, but the free will I gave myself was to believe that I'm Leslie. So, but the free will I also gave myself was anytime I need help, I can always go back home like the prodigal son. I can always go back home. And when I go back home, I'm now the prince again or the princess again. I'm now operating from the kingdom. And the kingdom always is always perfect. The kingdom is always winning. The kingdom is omniscient. It always knows what to say. So you literally start talking to yourself now as the princess, as the returner of being home. You know what? I'm perfect. Everything I say is perfect. I always know what to say, when to say it, how to say it, to whom to say it. I always like everything I say is always perfect, perfectly understood, because that's how I am does things. I am says I'm already perfect, so everything I do is perfect. So what am I doing? Swimming. So how do you think I swim? Perfectly. What do you think? What am I doing now? Teaching. So what do you think I'm doing? Perfectly. The ing is the verb, right? Is the action. So teaching, swimming. Well, who is ing? I am. Well, I am is perfect. So I am is perfectly ing. Perfectly swimming. Perfectly teaching. Perfectly running a business. Whatever you're doing is being done by who? I am. So how could you lose? How could you be wrong? How does it not work? How are you not rich? How are you not health? How are you not anything of the outcome of ing? That is how
Right.
you, just like you said. Yes, you talk to everybody from there. Oh, I'm perfect because because I am now aware. I'm aware of this is who I am. This is where I am. I am Leslie. I'm in Leslie. That's where I am. I'm operating through Leslie. But I am is who I am. Who I am. Who are we going with? I am. I am is who I am. And I'm operating out of like when I went to your thing, um, your office.
Mm-hmm.
Right, yeah. You were Leslie when we left. You were Leslie in the car. You were Leslie in your office. You were Leslie when we went to go eat. So everywhere you went, you were who you are. That doesn't change. Where you're doing it change. Who you are does not. And when you are who you are, right, then you're a sane person. You're a sane person. Leslie is a person, a persona, a character, a mask. You are a sane person. In order to be sane as Leslie, you have to remember your I am. And so now your I am, which is perfect, so everything you do is perfect. You teach perfect, you run a business perfect, you swim perfect, you parent perfect, you grandparent perfect, you run a business perfect. Everybody on here is perfect if they remember who they are. Who you are is perfection. So it's not something to attain or to achieve or to pursue. It is something to sit back and remember and relax and allow. Just allow it. Allow it. Just like when you sit back and you take a deep breath and you're like, oh, and at the end of your day and you relax and you realize like it's just I'm good. That is remembering who you are. And the more of that you do, the more of that you'll see. You'll see the perfection, you'll see the provision, you'll see that you are omniscient, that you always know the right thing to say. You see that you are omnipotent, like you always have the money, you always have the power, you always have the ability, you always know what to do, you always know when to do it. Like you will literally see the attributes of your identity flow through your experience. It's really about allowing. And the more aware you are of who you are, so like Sarita said, you know what? All is well. I'm always healthy. I'm like the Louise Hay thing. When you say that, what you're doing is literally you are just relaxing the human grip and grind, and you're allowing your divinity to flow through. You know how back in the day, when you water the grass and the water's coming through, and then you pinch the hose and to stop the water. That's a lot of times what we as humanity do to ourselves. We pinch the holes, and then we're looking for the water. Then we're trying to shake it, and we're just like, if you just let the thing go, the water pressure never changed, right? Because you can choke the water off without touching the hose, without touching the nozzle. Just pinch the thing. So the water pressure has never ceased. It's never diminished. It just looks like it in expression because you pinched the hose. You started grinding, started hustling. It's not who you know, it's what you know. And you got to have this, and you got to be that. You got to stay up all night, and you're pinching the hose. It works perfectly. It's been working perfectly. It was designed to work perfectly. Why are you pinching the hose? Why all of a sudden now does it take something different to be the way it's always been? Right? So once you let it go, doesn't the water come flowing right back out? It's always there. It's always been there, right? So when you relax and you say, you know what? What Sarita said was a very good thing. Sarita, say it one more time.
All is well. Everything works out for my highest good. Out of this situation, only good will come, and I am safe.
right? So guess what? Sarita gets to have that experience that I am is aware of being. What you're saying is, what you just said, you were speaking as I am. And Sarita now gets to have that experience because I am is awareness. So when you're aware, then whatever you're aware of, the word you're aware produces a word, produces action, produces a concept. And that concept is the word made flesh, Sarita. So whatever I am aware of, first thing being Sarita, and everything that goes with I am, Sarita expresses. Sarita gets to have that experience physically because I am is aware of it. I am is mind, is consciousness. So whatever you have in consciousness is expressed physically. The word made flesh. Sarita. Leanne, Alexis, Johnny, all of us, Monique, all of us on here. So when you're saying that to yourself, it first sounds like it's the little you trying to make themselves believe something. But as you start to really realize what's going on, you realize it's I am being aware of something. And Sarita just expands. She realizes I don't have to do all the stuff I thought I had to do. I already understand I got it. I can feel it. But what do we talk about? Because you're aware, your awareness starts to increase. You become more aware of what you're saying. Those words are your awareness in those areas are increasing. They're intensifying. Right? And you can see, and that feeling, that awareness starts to produce an emotion after a while. You start to like, oh man, man, I feel better. Like I'm possessing the emotion, the awareness of feeling like peace, calm, secure, safe, successful, like all is well. Everything is always working out for me. Right? You start to realize increasingly that I am is talking. And that it is saying, this is what it is. Let there be. This is what it is. And Sarita now is standing there with her parent, and she feels like you do with your parent when they made you feel safe those couple times, right? In life. We're like, oh, I'm so glad you're there. Or, oh, I'm so excited because the ice cream truck is here. My mom's going to her purse and buying me this ice cream. You feel the relationship is perfect. You have the provider and the desirer in the same place, and they're one. The two are one flesh. Right? And that's how this works. That's how this works. Right? So that's why it's so wonderful that we're able to have these conversations, because once you understand it and you're able to, make sense of it, like, oh, okay, then you can start to really apply it. Then you can really start to, the clouds don't make you feel like, oh, that's just winter. That's just a part of life. The clouds being out. Snow is a part of life. And people make snowmen, and in the summer they go surfing, and there's a greatness in every season. And you start to, like you said, everything is working out for me. You start to look for the greatness in everything because you realize, shoot, great is here. That's me. So there's greatness everywhere. I am omnipresent. Not only omniscient and omnipotent, I'm omnipresent. I'm everywhere. So everywhere I am, I am. Right? So if I am in the summer, I am in the winter. If I am in Jersey, I am in Philly. If I am. So then all I got to do is focus on what am I? Who am I believing myself to be? Because wherever that is, whatever that is wherever it is. I am that everywhere I go. And once I have that under control, I have everything under control. You have everything under control. Omniscience has everything under control. Omnipotence has everything under control. And omnipresence means everything and everyone and everything and everyone is under control everywhere you go. Everything is good. Every season is good. Every day is good. Every place you go is good. Every country you go, every time of day, everything is good. All the time. What does it say? God is good. All the time.
All the time.
Yeah. I am is good. Your awareness is good all the time. Just be aware of that. Be aware of that. Right? Everywhere we go, people ask us for our identity. Right? ID to get into this, to get into the bank, to go to the airport, to if you use a credit card, if you do this. People are always asking us for our identity. There's a reason for that, because that is your access to the world that you live in. Is based on your ID. And the access to the physical world that you want is based on your ID. What it is, who are you identifying yourself as? That's the bank has all the money. You just can't get access to it. Right? You don't have an account here. Or you can't get into your account because you don't have your ID. You can't get access to health with the ID of the opposite. Can't get access to wealth with the ID of the opposite. When you are proclaiming yourself, when you're identifying yourself as something. That's why I say it's okay to have experiences as long as you don't identify yourself with them. You don't have to run from them. You're not hiding from them. I'm not saying it's sunny and 80 degrees out here. It's not. But I'm not identifying myself with like, well, hey, how you doing? I'm overcast. What does that mean? How are you over here? Right? Like, you see how silly that sounds when you identify yourself with an experience? Like, no, it's overcast. It is not me. I'm not the weather. That's what? My mom and I always say, it's cloudy. So, I don't know if it's cloudy over there where she is now, but, it just means there's some ear hustling happening. All right. Yeah. Right. So we'll be like, yeah, it's cloudy, Right. So, but the whole thing, right? Like, you don't identify yourself with the experience or the circumstance. You identify yourself with yourself. Right? With yourself. You identify yourself with yourself. Right? So, that's good on that. All right. Any other questions about anything? I don't want to start something new. We won't have time to finish it. Questions about anything?
I have a question.
Sure, yes.
And I think you touched on it already, but I just kind of want to clarify. I've been working a lot on re-identifying myself with things and trying to become aware all day long of how am I identifying with my environment around me. What are some practical steps that I can remind myself frequently of who I am? Because we easily forget all day long, right? And we're back and forth, back and forth. Is it a matter of like affirmations, or like what do other people use maybe that I haven't thought of to remember who I am all day long?
Okay, so yes, remembering who you are is the key to everything, because everything is as you are. Everything is you physically pressed out. So remembering who you are is really the only thing you ever have to do. Sarita was a good example today of what she does for herself to remember who she is, or to remember how things always go for her. You can call that an affirmation if you say it. You can call that visualizing if you close your eyes and imagine it. You can call it scripting if you write it down. This is an individual journey. Leslie is very good with this part. That everything is an individual journey. We have things that we can collectively give each other, recommendations on, right? But it's what does it take for Leanne to remember who she is? Is it you waking up every morning and talking to yourself for 5 minutes? Is it you scripting while you're drinking a cup of coffee? Is it you listening to some, affirmation tapes while you're driving? Is it listening to YouTube stuff when you're going to sleep? What does it take for Leanne as the individual you? What does it take for you to remember who you are? That is a very individual thing. We can all give you suggestions, like Sarita's was great. I always say things to myself. It's so whether it's you saying something, reading something, writing something, what does it take for you to remain in the remembrance of who you are? Now, that's number one. Number two is going very general. To me, I found to be very helpful. It's almost like a blanket. If your blanket's big enough, it covers everything. Sometimes we so specific that only like our blanket only covers up to our waist, and now our elbows are cold, our neck is cold, because we've kind of gone so specific that we haven't covered everything. And when you cover everything, it just allows you to relax a lot more, because you don't feel like there's things you're missing. So you're just like what Sarita said, it's so good because it covers everything. It's just basically you're just talking about your experience. Like, okay, I am the authority. What do I want to say about this experience that I'm having as Leanne? Whatever I say is going to go because I'm the authority. So it just reminding myself of what I said, remembering, reminding. It's just attaching your awareness of what you have done or said or think again. So what does that take for you? That is an individual thing. But writing it down if you're a writer, closing your eyes, imagining if you have a vivid imagination, um, talking to yourself, just what people call affirming. But all these things are just meaning you're just thinking the same things again. You're just doing the same thing again, whether it's verbally, mentally, written. Affirmations is just a thought that you keep thinking. That's all it is, right? So once we whittle it down to that and get some of the voodoo out the word, so to speak, just a thought that you keep thinking. So what do you find something you want to think that appeals to you so much you keep thinking it? Like you have your favorite song, makes you want to listen to it over and over again, right? Or your favorite show, and you want to watch it over and over again. Find something that appeals to you. Like, I'm a great business owner. I'm a great woman. I'm a great this. I'm wonderful at that. Tell yourself things that mean so much to you that you don't mind telling yourself as much as you like. Because it's just a matter of where you're putting your awareness, right? Your awareness is the thing that says, oh, this is who I am. So my emotions, my circumstances, my conditions, my physical expression, everything in my physical world goes to support what I'm aware of being. So when you choose what you're aware of being, choose something that's so magnificent to you and so wonderful that you will literally talk that talk that you are literally hurt. I am this, I have that, this is the way my life is. And it's just things that you're happy to say to yourself, just thoughts that you like that make you happy to repeat. That's all. It's
Okay.
You're doing it anyway. It's just about finding something. It's like we're all eating anyway, but it's much easier to eat things you like, right? It's same thing. We're all thinking anyway. It's just much easier to think the things that you like, right? So find things that you want to think that mean so much to you that it's not a job to do it. It just makes you happy to do it. It makes you feel like I'm wonderful and I'm amazing and I'm whatever, the things that make you feel the way you want to feel. And however that is, whether you things you say, things you write, things you close your eyes and imagine, whether you meditate, whether you to listen to things as you go to sleep, all the whatever works best for you.
Okay. Yeah, I definitely use all those things. So I was confident that I was doing the right thing. I just was not sure if there was something I was missing. Sometimes I need a thump over the head, but it's
Hit it on the head. You have to start telling yourself that you are what you want. I'm always doing it right. I always do the right thing. I always know. You start because, and I'm going to say it this way. I'm going to use you, and I know you didn't mean it literally, but I'm going to use you
mm-hmm.
and use you and what you said literally. I'm trying is doing something. It's just trying. It's just, but it's not doing. It's not being, right? So you don't tell yourself I'm trying, and I don't mean semantically. I just mean I want to raise your level of intention. I want to raise the level of your attention to your intention. It's not I'm trying is a crime. You know what you mean. Like, oh, I'm trying to start the car. Yeah, you're actually doing it, right? Now, I don't mean that. But what I mean is I want to raise your level of attention to your intention. No, I'm doing. I always know what to say. I'm always telling myself the right thing. I always can keep it. You start now telling yourself that you are the thing that you're trying to get to be. You start telling yourself you are that thing. The consciousness is what's going to promote the right action. Trying to create the right action out of a trying consciousness does not promote doing things. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah, definitely.
Right? So tell yourself that if I'm doing this to get that, you now start telling yourself, I am that. That will then produce all of the actions that reflect it. Because doing here doesn't necessarily get you there. You ever drove in your car somewhere and went the wrong way? Right? Right? Doing doesn't necessarily mean, even though your intention is to get there, it doesn't mean it's automatic. I am saying when you know I'm doing all these things, right? So I'm doing this to get this. What is this? This is whatever you're saying you want. Okay, whatever this is, these things, if you go from here to here to here to here, it doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to lead you here. Just like you can drive and get lost in a car. You take this street and get off the freeway, then you're down this way, and then you're like, oh, it's a dead end. Then what? Well, you did all these things and still didn't lead you here. I am saying to you that if you're doing all these things to get here, I'm saying start identifying yourself. You are here now. This is who you're this now. And this will then work, will redefine whatever one of these, all these now may turn into these. Oh, I see who you are. Oh, no, it's not these. These are. They're not zeros anymore, they're X's. This, just think about it. If you were going somewhere today that you had never been, let's say it was an hour away from your house, and you got in your car and you had never been there, what would you do? When you got in your car, what would you do?
Map it out.
Map it out. See what you just said? Map.
Yeah.
Okay, but what is the map based on? What did you put in your navigation? What did you put in?
The address, exact where I want to go.
Of your end.
Mm-hmm.
Did you put all these streets in? No. That's what I'm saying. If you do this, it's not a guarantee to that. If you do this, this clarifies all of that. Map it out. Live, as Neville said, live in the end. The end is your map. That is what dictates everywhere you go. Everywhere you go doesn't dictate the end. The end dictates everything you go, or everywhere you go. Did that make sense to you?
Yeah.
Right? That's what dictates that to you. So that's why I say, yeah, you could be trying right here. You could be a good person right here. You could donate to the church right here. And you could be the best godmother of all time. That still doesn't mean that these are no guarantees of that. This says, oh, let me redefine all of this right here. Because if this is the map, if I mapped it out, then that may change some of the streets you take. And then if there's traffic, it may change that street. It's going to rearrange all these things, whether it's to keep them or whether it's to put this one over here and this one right here, this one over here. No, this isn't actually an X or an O. This is just a straight line that goes like that. Well, when you're going this way, you're not as clear. Hindsight is 20/20. Hindsight, living in the end, clarifies all these things. You know how when we're young, we're like, well, what do I want to be when I'm old? I don't know. Well, what am I? This way is always more challenging to see clearly. This way is always clear. You look back in high school, you're like, oh yeah, I know where I blew that. Right? Oh yeah, I know why I didn't get that job. Because you can, but when you're going toward it, you can't see everything. When you look back, it's clear. Always live in the end. You're doing all these things for what? Identify, okay, I'm doing all these things. What am I doing them for? If I do all these things, what do I hope to get? What do I want to be, do, or have? Oh, I'm doing it because I want to be rich or healthy, or I want to have a bigger business. Okay, whatever you're doing all these things for, and this is the end result, okay, scrap that. Go for this. This is what I want to be. So this is now who I am. This is the map. I am whatever this is. Because I am, omniscience knows itself to be, it then acts. It's like, oh, okay. That's what it means in the book where it says, where Jesus said, in my Father's house, there are many mansions. And if that weren't true, I wouldn't tell you that, right? But I go before you to set a place that where I am, you may be. Humanity will then be also. I am always goes to the end and lives there and draws you. I am it maps it out. I am says, oh, we want to be this in the end? Well, I'm going to go there right now. And from here, I will draw the end physically to it. But you're being drawn by omniscience, not by Google Maps that sometimes have you taking the wrong road, right? Have you out there in the middle of nowhere, right? Same thing. I am, you're being now driven and drawn by omniscience, omnipotence, and omnipresence. So it's perfect. So you're perfect. So you go from, once you live here, then all this stuff is moved for you. Smooth sailing.
That's huge. When you said always live in the end, I was like, oh, okay. Redefining the end for me, like just for an example to give you context,
Yes.
I was raised by a single mom.
Okay.
my dad was never around. I've never had a dad. I've had stepdads and they've passed away. So there's always this going back to it's just me and my mom. And I catch myself identifying as some sort of like struggle or incomplete because I've only ever had a mom and not a dad. And so I'm trying to like redefine that as part of my identity. That doesn't mean that I'm anything less. And
So let's prove it. What is it? So who identifies themselves? Who is identifying themselves as what you're referring to? Who is that?
my ego.
Right.
Yeah.
And your ego and your ego is attached to your identity, which is attached to, in this case, Leanne. That's why Leanne is saying. Okay, but if I am big U, I am made the ego and the identity and Leanne, and I am is perfect, how could it make Leanne imperfect? And why would I am, who's missing nothing, create something to miss something? There's only the little you that is identifying itself. The ego might be identifying itself as incomplete, which is okay because to it only has what it has, knows what it knows, thinks what it thinks, but it doesn't have the big picture. I am the big picture created Leanne. So it thinks Leanne is perfect because it created Leanne and it's perfect. So how can Leanne be something different? How is it possible? Doesn't matter whether we like it or not or agree or not. How could it be possible? Right? So then what you're saying is when you talked about single motherhood, is every mother a single mother? So single motherhood is a what?
Identity.
It is a what? That's what we got to fix. It is an experience. Everybody ain't having it. So then, but what did you say? You said it's an identity. You made an experience and identity. You committed the cardinal sin of today.
You see how strong it is in me, and I'm trying to change it.
It's that way for all of us, though. It could be a single mother. It could be Black. It could be a woman. It could be anything our ego mind attaches to itself as a reason for not being something it would like to be. Right? For it thinking that it's not good enough. It's not, but only the ego mind would think it's not good enough. You think I am has a self-esteem issue? Do you think I feels like the imposter syndrome? Do you think I am feels like I'm not worthy? Right? Only the ego human mind can do that. But it doesn't know anything. It doesn't even know what you're going to eat today at 6 o'clock. How's it going to tell you what's going to happen with what your life is or needs? But that's all you have to change it. Just change it. Oh, I had a single mother experience. That's just an experience. That's just an experience I am had. But that's not I am. That's what we talked about today. That's not I am. So it's like, okay, that's just an experience. But who chose to have it? I am. So if I am chose to have it, it doesn't mean a single mother experience doesn't mean to I am what it means to the ego. It doesn't mean the same thing. It just does. It can't. It does not mean the same thing. This is just an experience. That's it. Just like it's snowing outside. It's an experience. It don't last forever, and it doesn't mean anything more than that's just an experience passing by. It's just an experience. It's not your identity. But when we take an experience why would we identify ourselves with that? Why do people? Why? I'm okay. Why did you identify yourself with that? I'm using you, but everybody does it for the same reason. Why did you identify yourself with that?
Yeah, I was always told, oh, poor Leanne, poor this, poor that, because I'd never had a dad.
Because we identify ourselves with something so that it provides meaning. It gives us meaning to something. We're doing it to provide, oh, so that because I have this, it means this. Oh, because you have a single mom, because your mom is a single mom. Oh, poor. Because of this, now I can say, oh, we use an experience and we turn it into an identity so that we can provide meaning to it. But we don't realize that that experience has all kind of can provide all kind of meanings. It's just an experience. It doesn't mean anything but what we say it means. And who's saying means something, and who's saying what it means? You. Now, you meaning you may have told yourself what it means, or somebody else may have told you what it means, and you adapted it or adopted it. But it only means what you say it means. And if you say, "Oh, that was just something experience my mom had," but since I know who I am, I just know that's an experience. But it's not my identity. So I don't have to identify with that experience in any way that I don't want to. You can tell yourself, I am. I just picked two people to get me here, but I kept the best person. Why can't you say that? I kept the best person for me.
Come on, coach.
People mind will be like, well, what does that mean? Hell, I don't know. Were you around when it happened? No. Did you make the decision? Did you break them up? No. Well, then sit down, be quiet. I decided I'm gonna use them two to get me here, and I kept the best one for me. I don't need that anymore. I didn't need it anymore. I kept what I needed because I know you're omniscient, right? So didn't you know who you were picking before you got a body? Didn't you know who to get a body from? And didn't you know who to keep and who to get rid of so that you could be whoever you came here to be? So then why would you think it was I'm gonna say it this way. So why would you think it's a mistake? Why would you take it as a negative? Why wouldn't you take that as anything but what I am would give you? Do you think I am would give you something that's bad? Do you think I am? I am is you. It's with you. What do you? I mean, it ain't like I am. I am. Where are you? I am. But I'm over there. But I'm right here. You're not. See what I mean? Like, if it gave you something bad, it's got to suffer with you. Why would it do that in its omniscience? Why would it do that? It wouldn't. It's the ego mind that takes experiences and tries to attach meaning to them. Like most of us say, the story we tell ourselves. Mm-hmm. Our ego is the great Langston Hughes, the great, poet writers of all time. Shakespeare, all of them, right? It's our ego mind that tries to attach meaning to experiences, but it doesn't always have the capacity to do it, right? Just like, when you're trying to give young people vegetables and they act like it's poison, like you're pouring bleach down their throat or something, and they're falling out, and right, they're attached, but they're not. When they're adults, they're like, oh wow, I'm glad that you did that. But in that moment, they don't have the capacity to see the big picture. Does that make sense? Our ego mind doesn't have the capacity to see the big picture. So it latches onto something and tries to define it from its limited information. It tries to make an unlimited, reason. It's not the truth. You picked two people. You decided to keep the best one. And so humanity, do you think I am causing that? A single mother? No. So I'm gonna say it this way, but then why the hell would you do it? How can you pick a bad answer and think you're gonna have a good idea? No, a good concept of yourself, and you picked a bad thing. Does that make sense? No, I am would not. I am said I picked an experience. Humanity gauges them and judges them, like we talked about discouragement. Just because you're feeling discouragement, don't let it discourage you. Just because you're having an experience, don't define yourself by the experience. And you get to choose what every experience means. You get to do that. I had this experience. Yes, I did. What does it mean to me? And I don't care what it means to my mother, my father, my brother, my cousin. I don't care what it means to the children of America. I say what this means. Right? And you just made a mistake. That's all. You had an experience and you created an identity to provide meaning, and the meaning you don't like. So how's the outcome you gonna like? How are you gonna like that? Right? No.
Yeah,
It's just
I forgot that I had a choice because I thought it was my identity,
right?
Not an experience.
Correct. That's all it is. Just separate the two.
Yeah.
Just like weather. Look outside. It's snowing. It's raining. What does that mean for you? Some people are out there in the snow making snowballs out there diving head first. Some people are inside like, oh God, when is it over? It's the same weather. It's the same experience. Everybody, so it's the experience is neutral. The experience is neutral. The meaning you attach to it is what it is. And and it's never too late to choose what it means to you. Started with what did Ice Cube say? Started off with too much cargo, drop, and I'm making all the dough. You can start off with a whole bunch of people and drop some people to keep it pushing, to make sure that you get to where you want. Right? Same thing. And isn't it funny? The most successful people ended up on their own. Ice Cube ended up on his own. Dr. Dre ended up on his own as a producer, and Ice Cube as an artist. Neither one of them went to another group. Right? So just because you start off with 4, just because you start off with 2, your awareness said, look, I came here to do something. I got what I needed right now. Peace. Good to see you. I'm on to the next. Because your awareness is only here for the experience. Humanity tells you it's more than what it is, because humanity, it's all it is. It's all it knows. Doesn't know anything else. So it's clutching to life like somebody in a hurricane holding a tree. Shoot, if I let go, I don't know what's going to happen next. That's what the ego mind is. If you say, I'm no longer this, I'm this now, your ego mind says, whoa, it's holding on to that old you, boy, like it's a tree in a hurricane. It doesn't, because it's all it knows. It's not personal. It's all it knows. And you just have to say, hey, I understand why you're holding on, but you know you're not going to be able to stay, right? So I was letting you know, so you go ahead and you do what you want to do. You hungry? Once you stop being afraid of it, you can just walk away and let it be what it be. And you'll turn around one day and it'll be gone. Right? So yeah, no, you got it now. Now you understand, and now you're free.
Yeah. Yeah, and I can apply. Now I'm like, oh, I'm making a list of all the things that I've been identifying with, divorced, broke, meant to struggle because I was a single mom. So was my mom. Oh, we're destined to fail. All these things. And it's like, okay.
Yeah. And you know what they
Yeah.
are? They're like when I was talking earlier, right? If you're a parent with 2 kids, if you tell both of your kids, come on, let's go, neither one of the kids know where you're going. So if both of them try to figure it out, all they're going to do is make themselves frustrated, because neither one of them has the answer. So when humanity, right, goes through things, humanity starts talking to other humanity. And so then we start making up reasons, because we don't have answers. We just make them up. Hey, where do you think mama's going? You think she's going? What time is it? You think we're going to church? Neither one of you know. You and your brother don't know where you're going. But you're both trying to figure it out, making up all kind of stupidness, right? And then you end up at McDonald's. And you're like, oh, I didn't see that coming, right? Because neither one of you know. So humanity just talks to each other and attaches all these meanings, trying to find meaning, because none of humanity knows. Right? And I am sitting there like, dude, it's just an experience. Why are you making this an identity? You're messing everything up. Right? It's like, no, it's just an experience. It's just temporary. Move on. Right? And identify yourself as I am, and I am only. And I know it's getting late, so I'll let us go. Identify yourself as I am, and I am only. Never anything else. Not Leanne, not Sarita, not Mona, not Johnny. You're not those things. You are I am. That's it. Everything else that comes after I am is just an experience. I am is your only identity. It's all you identify is I am. I am. Everything else, rich, experience. Poor, experience. White, experience. Woman, experience. Black, experience. Man, experience. Funny, experience. Not funny, experience. They're all experiences. They're only temporary things for you to do. Just like you go on to Disneyland. You ride a ride, you get on, and guess what you do after that? You get off. And you keep it pushing to the next. If you want to ride again, get back in line to re-experience, right? It's not forever. It's only short bursts of moment. But while you're on that ride, it feels real. It's true, right? But it ain't so real that you can't get off. So it ain't that real, right? Reality is the thing getting on and off the ride. You. So you always remember you, then everything else is a ride. It's an experience that you ride or don't want to ride. But you are always I am. I am is perfect, whole, complete, lacking nothing. And that's what you tell yourself. Just like Sarita's been saying, her thing, you tell yourself your thing. I'm perfect, I'm whole, I'm complete, lacking nothing, missing nothing, wanting nothing, needing nothing. I am all that is. I'm all there is. Right? I'm it. I am too legit, too quick. I'm it. Right? As you tell yourself, I am it. I'm her. I'm her. I'm that girl. That's it. Right? And as you tell yourself, you just tell yourself talk about your identity, not your experience.
Brilliant. Brilliant. Thank you. Thank you for taking the
Yes.
time to go through
Yes.
this. It's brilliant.
Welcome, boss. Wonderful. So happy that we're all happy. All right. Well, I know I've run everybody's time out. Veronica, anything you want to say?
Just thank you everyone for being here. I've had to go on and off of my camera because of my internet connection. It hasn't been so great, but I'm glad his stayed, so that was a good thing. So yeah, no, just as always, I'd like to invite those who are just come to the Saturday calls. If these calls are, powerful, imagine the breakthroughs that you could have having one-on-ones with Coach Lucky's. And then we also meet on smaller groups on Tuesdays and on Fridays. So yeah, I'll drop the link in the chat. But thank you, everyone. We really love these Saturdays. We have fun. We appreciate every single one of you and are excited that you guys come. Have a great, great Saturday.
All right. Well, happy Saturday, everyone. Have a great Saturday. Thanks for coming. Remember who you are, right? Remember who you are. Remember who you are, right? And it's wonderful. I'm telling you, you're it. You're going to see it. Keep doing it. Keep doing it.
Bye, Rocky.
Hi, Sage. How are you?
Hey, Coach. Just wanted to reach back out and just say thank you for your words. They're very inspirational, specifically for the week that I had. I've had to affirm myself, and I've had to get myself back in the headspace of this is the life that I decided to choose, and I'm gonna live it to the best of my abilities. And I always go back to you. Like I still go back to the days like this year. I'm just like reminiscing over the year. Like this call, it was just like a reminisce. And so I was going over like at the beginning of my JV season for baseball. I remember it was my first game, and I was like so nervous. And I called you, and you were like, Gavin. And it was like, Gavin, you gotta be a dog on the field. You gotta do this. You gotta do that. And I went 2 for 2. I had like a really good game. And so just going back at that, I appreciate you, Coach Lucky. Flowers to you daily, flowers to you weekly, flowers to you 24/7. I really do genuinely appreciate you. I just got I don't know if my mom hasn't told y'all yet, but this was my first year of getting AB honor roll for the first semester since I don't know, like eighth grade, seventh grade. It's been a minute. And then also I got reported as the number 15 wide receiver. I don't know if it's in the district. I think that's what it is in my district. And then also I got reported to be second team all district for wide receiver. So just going back to you, thank you for your words. Wouldn't be here without you, and just flowers to you overall. So thank you.
Man, it's my pleasure, and thank you. And I definitely, when I saw you playing football, I could see it. You look like one of those people that is what you're talking about. You just look like it. Whether that was ever your intention or not, as far as I know, baseball's always been your thing. But you have the frame of a receiver and of one of the wide catch radius receivers like Jacoby Lane out here at SC or some of the bigger body receivers. You actually have the frame for it. So and you can do whatever you put your mind to. That's the point. Is whatever you put your mind to is what you're going to get. So whether it's football, baseball, being a business owner, being a good man, it's all about, like you said, remembering who you are and choosing to act from that place, which is all powerful, all knowing, all capable. And wherever you choose to put that, that's where you're going to see your fruit, right? So good for you, man. Good on you. Good to you. And yeah, you should have good grades. Why not? You're omniscient. You know everything. Why shouldn't you? How hard is it when you know everything? And genius is nothing but God's omniscience flowing through the brain of man. It's your awareness of being's all knowing that's flowing through your human mind. So, like we talked about earlier, all you have to do is open yourself up to it, and it flows right through you, just like a stream. You don't have to do any work. It's just the awareness of being. You tell yourself, I always know everything I need to know what to do about it. Tell yourself, I'm a great student. I learn things quickly. I barely have to study. You can tell yourself whatever makes you feel good. Like we talked about with Leanne, whatever makes yourself feel good, but tell yourself this is how it is for you. Turn yourself on. You'll realize that only humanity, the ego mind struggles because it doesn't know. The ego mind grinds because it doesn't know. But if it's 2 + 2 is 4, how long does that test take to answer? Right? Same thing. It's long when you know everything. Only the ego mind does it. So that's why grinding and hustling and staying on all night because you don't know nothing. Well, the humanity doesn't know anything except what it's told. And who do you think is telling it? I am. So when you remember who you are, then you realize I got all the answers off the jump, off the rip. So I'm just going to sit down here and just remember. You go to class not thinking you learn and go to class realizing all you're doing is remembering, right? And it changes your intention. You're like, oh, let me hear what I'm remembering now. Let me remember for a minute. And so then you tell yourself you're a straight A student. School is effortless and easy. You get everything quick. It's easy work, light work. So yes, sir. Congratulations, man, and keep doing it,
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
sir.
Have a great
Thank
Christmas.
you.
Great New Year.
Thank you, Coach. Thank you for everything. Thank you, Vero. This is awesome. Y'all keep going. Thank y'all so much. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank
Oh,
you.
just real quick. We get off these calls sometimes, y'all, and we talk about what we learned here and we hold each other accountable, just so y'all know. We don't waste time. We get off these calls and we're like, okay, now Coach Lucky would tell us to do this. And we shouldn't worry about that. And we better speak. No, you better what you said? Nah, we don't say it like that. We get off these calls and we get to work. So take that into your Christmas. Happy holidays. Merry Christmas.
Happy holidays. Merry Christmas to everyone. I'm glad you said that. Merry Christmas. Happy holidays. And I will be here next Saturday in case you ask it. I will be here, ready and rocking and rolling. So
No days off. Happy holidays, everyone. Thank you again.